Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Chelsea news update. And we've got a lot of news to cover, guys. Breaking news in the last hour or so. Atletico Madrid have had a £16.8 million bid for Conor Gallagher rejected. Yes, you were hearing that right, guys. £16.8 million. The disrespect from these Spanish clubs and just from clubs in general thinking they can just get Chelsea players on the cheap is quite something. Absolutely ridiculous. £16.8 million for Conor Gallagher, bid rejected from Atletico Madrid. Sticking with Atletico Madrid, there was a big development in the chase for a new striker last night. Chelsea had a bid worth up to €40 million rejected for Atletico Madrid striker Samu Omorodion. And I don't think any of us had heard of him at all before the news came out last night. Not a single person, I don't think, had heard of Samu Omorodion in the Chelsea fan space or generally speaking outside of La Liga. He's a 20-year-old striker, shock. Spanish under-21 international, is yet to make an appearance for Atletico Madrid. He only joined them last summer from Granada, and he spent last season on loan at Deportivo Alaves, where he scored 9 goals in 35 appearances in all competitions. And now, apparently, he's our main striker target. It's going to be Omorodion or John Duran. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. We're going to dive into all that about Duran, Omorodion, Gallagher, the striker search in general, not really understanding what's going on at Chelsea right now. Apparently, Enzo Maresca is going to have the final say on Duran, even though Chelsea, even though Tuchel left because he wanted to stay on transfer. Part of the reason Pochettino left because he wanted to stay on transfers. And now apparently Maresca is going to have a say on whether he wants Duran or Omorodion. It really doesn't make any sense what is going on here. But big up to everyone that's locked in. Appreciate it's a little bit earlier than normal today. But yeah, some breaking news to go through, other bits and pieces to go through. And yeah, I'm not sure I'm around later on, so I thought I'd just quickly jump on now whilst there's a gap in the day. And yeah, bring you up to date with all the latest goings on with Chelsea. So big up to everyone that's locked in. Please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, guys. And of course, make sure you get involved in the chat as well. What are you people saying? Don't need another project striker hat because we've got Jackson. We need an experienced striker. Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, talk about insulting, brother. Talk about insulting. Atletico Madrid disrespected Conor Gallagher and Chelsea. Striker shortlist is a joke. Yeah, it's not what we're looking for. Let's start with the main news from today then before we get into the striker situation. And that is that Conor Gallagher, Atletico Madrid have submitted a £16.8 million bid for him. Atletico Madrid made an informal offer of £16.8 million for Conor Gallagher. Chelsea said no. Well, of course they said no because it's an absolute disrespect. Let me just see what this article is saying. Atletico Madrid continues to build its squad. They contacted Chelsea to find out about the situation of Gallagher. The Blues are considering selling. The Madrid sent a first informal offer of just over €20 million. But yeah, it was rejected by Chelsea. Gallagher is for sale, but not at any price. Both the Atletico Madrid management and Simeone himself like the midfielder. They see a player. They see him as a player for the next decade, and will try to repeat with him what they did with Kieran Trippier, coming to the Premier League without experience abroad, and then succeeding. Chelsea looking for about £50 million for him, which obviously Atletico Madrid can't afford, and it's expected that talks will be resumed after the Euros for him. So yeah, Gallagher is one of the favoured options, but he's not the only one. So yeah, Atletico Madrid making the first kind of steps in a move for Gallagher, which is not really unsurprising. Not at all. We know there's interest from Diego Simeone's side. We know Aston Villa are interested. We know Tottenham are interested as well. Regardless of whether it's an informal or formal offer, £16.8 million is a joke, an absolute joke. So I'm not really sure what the thought process was behind there. I mean, surely they knew that was never going to be accepted in a million years, and it's absolutely nowhere near the level that is required. Nowhere near the level of money required. Whether Chelsea get £50 million or not remains to be seen. Whether Chelsea, decide to keep him, decide to offer him a new deal or whatever, we don't really know. But one thing we absolutely do know is that 16.8 million is not going to get you anywhere in conversations, anywhere at all. And if they think that they can offer £16.8 million to Conor Gallagher, but then they're going to demand 80 million euros for Samuel Omorodion, then they've got another thing coming. These clubs, think they can, penny pinch when trying to sign players from other teams, but then demand top dollar for their own players and think that, nothing's going to be said of it. It's honestly scandalous, absolutely scandalous. And whatever you think of Gallagher as a player himself, I think he should personally stay. I think he's got a lot to offer to the team and a lot to offer to the squad. If you're going to sell players, then at least get value for them. And £16.8 million in this market, regardless of whether there's a year left on the contract or not, is an absolute joke. When you're talking about £40 million for John Duran, who is someone that started 3 Premier League games last season compared to an England international, played over 50 games for Chelsea last season, captained the side, has got Premier League experience, is proven in the league, and you're trying to, and you think that £16.8 million is a good starting place. Wow. I really don't know what to say on that front. Yeah, brother, I'm going to get into that in a sec. Beat yourselves up. 16.8 wouldn't even reply. No, it's not even picking up the phone. It's not even worth picking up the phone. I don't know if they still use faxes these days or what. Latest on Elise, nothing at the moment. Chelsea's still trying to agree personal terms with the player. Need to convince him that, Chelsea's the best place for him. But other than that, there's no real update. Chelsea are hoping to agree personal terms this week with Elise, but outside of that, it's very much, as you are. Do you think they'll come back and put a second bid in? Yeah, probably. They obviously can't afford the price that Chelsea are wanting, but I think there is obviously they'll probably go in with another bid. I'm sure. Atletico penny pinchers dealing with Chelsea penny pinchers. Yes, big up, brother, big up. Gallagher could be a good squad player. No, he absolutely could be a good squad player, but. In terms of Gallagher himself, we know that he wants to stay at Chelsea and fight for his future. And obviously, any clubs that are interested are going to face a difficult task in convincing him to try and leave Stamford Bridge. And again, that there's a possibility, by the way, that if Gallagher has a good Euros, and I think that he will feature regularly for England, maybe not from the start, but he'll certainly be someone that comes on and is able to potentially have an impact. Then maybe if he performs well at the Euros, it might change the way that he's viewed at Chelsea. And they might have a change of heart and they might reconsider and think, he's actually got something to offer here. We've made a mistake. I mean, they should know. They watched him last season. He captained the side on a number for the majority of the season. Like they should know. They should absolutely know that what Gallagher can offer and what he can do. So yeah, I'm just a little bit confused about the whole situation. We won't be able to attract top talent without UCL football. No, I think we can, but obviously the longer it goes on without, the bigger the problem's going to be. Gallagher cost 50 million. They bid 17. Why do they even bother? I don't know why they're bothering. But I absolutely agree on that front. Absolutely agree. We have to take what we get until we perform better. No, the giveaway won't be today. I'll be doing it later on in the week. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow, guys, because today I've obviously jumped on early and it's not the usual time. So I want to try and do it at a time to maximize the viewers, to give the people the biggest chance possible. So it will be tomorrow and I'll be live at 3:45 p.m. UK time tomorrow. But yeah, this is the situation with Gallagher. He obviously wants to stay and fight for his place. He's hoping that the Euros could potentially, if he does well there, be of, maybe help Chelsea convince their mind that he should be staying. But ultimately, it's going to be down to him whether he wants to stay or not. But £16.8 million for Conor Gallagher is disrespectful. You get players in the Championship going for. I mean, you've got someone like Somerville at Leeds that's going to go for probably in excess of £30 million this summer. and you've got an established England international and a Premier League proven player, and clubs think they can start the bidding at 16.8 million pounds. It's just an absolute no. These owners will sell any player that gives them pure profit on the books. Well, yeah, look, potentially yes. At the moment, just insulted Chelsea indirectly at that price. They rejected 40 mil for a striker who hasn't even proved himself, and prizing Gallagher, a Premier League proven player. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Covered the Openda news yesterday. I don't think there's much in it other than just maybe Chelsea are monitoring the situation on him. I don't expect anything serious to materialise on that front with Openda. I think it's just a name that's been linked with with proceedings. That's the reality here. So yeah, I don't see Openda or anything happening. It's clear the transfer market is bringing the cost down. No more huge deals. No, the transfer market's not bringing the cost down. There's still going to be big deals, but these sorts of clubs are always looking for some sort of a bargain. Always looking for some sort of a bargain. That's the reality of the situation here. Whenever it comes to Chelsea, clubs will charge top price, but then try and get bottom price for players that they're looking at. No, because they don't need to sell Openda. I think Openda only arrived last summer. He's got a £70 million release clause that becomes active in the summer of 2025. They do not need to sell. They absolutely, under no circumstances, do they need to sell. It's the same with Dortmund. They sold Haaland, Bellingham, and Sancho. Can't even pay release clause for Martin. I don't know if they actually can't pay it. I think if their life depended on it, they'd obviously get the money together. They just don't want to pay it. That's the difference here. They don't want to pay it. The Openda link came from TalkSport. No, the Openda links come from a number of places, but yeah, I don't think there's anything genuinely serious in it outside of just sort of a broad interest in him. What I mean is they both want to start at Leipzig. Yeah, they both do start though. I'm pretty sure that they have both started on occasions. But you need good strength and good squad depth. That's what every club and every team aspires for. You need decent competition in areas of the pitch. You need two good players in every position, and to have Sesko and Openda as your striking options is a huge plus. A huge plus. There's absolutely no denying that. But that's the latest on Conor Gallagher, guys. A derisory, insulting £16.8 million informal bid from Atletico Madrid. So yeah, we wait and see what happens. Gallagher's going to resolve his future after the Euros, but that hasn't stopped Atletico Madrid making an offer for Gallagher, and we're going to wait and see what happens. Ultimately, the ball's in Gallagher's court. If an offer comes in and he likes the move and he wants to leave, then he will leave. Or if he's convinced to leave, should I say, because he doesn't want to leave. But if he's convinced to leave, then he will go. If not, he will stay at the club and he will run his contract down into the last year. And Chelsea run the risk of losing him on a free. So it is very much kind of up to them at this point in time. Clubs know that Chelsea are towing the PSR line, so are lowballing every offer. The thing is, we're not towing the PSR line. Not for this season. We're not. Next season, potentially, yes, we could be in a spot of bother, sure. But right now there's not any. There doesn't seem to be any issues. Lewis Openda got an 80 million hideout. No, we're not going to spend that much, and also it's not active until the following summer. That release clause. Only Saudi can buy our players. No, I don't think so. But yeah, anyway, let's move away from the Gallagher situation. Bet we get linked with a new striker later. Wouldn't surprise me. What's your thoughts on Costa or Oblak for the keeper? I mean, look, both good goalkeepers, both going to cost a ridiculous amount of money. And I personally don't see any of those being an option to come in the goalkeeper role. Despite all the links, I actually don't see any any goalkeeper coming in. That's the reality. Because it takes time. You're not just going to go. You don't just go out and make all your signings early doors. It doesn't really work like that. Estebal's done. Again, the Estebal deal is done. We're just waiting a formal announcement on that one. He's not coming until 2025 anyway. Tosin's joined on a free transfer, and we're just deciding now what players to pursue. Obviously, they're trying to press ahead to sign Michael Olise. They're looking at the striker situation as well. So yeah, this is all things that take time, guys. This is what people don't understand. Transfer window is a slow burner. It takes time, guys. It takes time. So yeah, we got to be patient. Not all the signings happen at once. If there's an opportunity to be taken, then it absolutely is taken, like we did with Tosin Adarabioyo. But other than that, that's kind of you just got to wait, and particularly when there's international tournaments on as well, it makes it makes it a little bit more difficult. It makes it slightly more complex to get things sorted out. Doesn't mean that things can't be sorted out. It just means it's a bit more difficult logistics wise. That's why. No, but absolutely not. And again, that's absolutely completely untrue. That's been disproven on multiple occasions. Not the case at all. So yeah, misinformation is rife in this day and age. Chelsea have not got any PSR issues this season and do not need to sell players or cannot sign players before the end of this month. Simply untrue. Atletico are willing to sell Oblak. Why not make it part of the deal if they want Connor? Again, that was one report that said Atletico Madrid might be willing to sell Oblak. I've not seen anything, from anywhere reliable to suggest that. But yeah, anyway, let's move away from this. Let's get into what we all want to talk about, and that is the striker situation. And a name that appeared out of nowhere, like a Randy Orton RKO last night. Atletico Madrid turns down an offer from Chelsea to sign Samuel Omorodion. Bid for Spain youth international worth 32.5 million euros fixed fee plus add-ons. 20-year-old striker high among a handful of candidates Chelsea considering to strengthen Enzo Maresca's attack. Now, I'm going to be honest, until this news broke last night, I hadn't heard of him once. Haven't heard of him once. This is the first time that I've heard of him. And anyone else that says they've heard of him otherwise is either a Granada fan or a Deportivo Alaves fan, because no Chelsea fan can honestly claim that they know anything about this guy and have seen anything that he can do and anything that he can anything that he can obviously I've forgotten what I was saying there. But I'm not brainwashed. Who's brainwashed? No one's brainwashed. I'm not happy with the striker situation whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense to me at all, and I'm absolutely not happy with it. So I don't know why people, strengthen the attack, and then we're going for players that no one's ever heard of, or players that are so raw and so inexperienced. It just baffles me. It just absolutely baffles me. I mean, you've got to admire the ownership's commitment to absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. They seem to really enjoy it. I just don't get it. It looks like literally when we're screaming out for an experienced striker to help Jackson, that how can Chelsea suddenly think, what we need is to throw another inexperienced striker into the mix. It makes no sense, guys. I'm really at a loss here. I find it so weird that we want two inexperienced and raw strikers. I get it, and I understand we want to keep Jackson in the starting 11. But how can you develop both whilst sharing the minutes? You can't. Eventually, one will get tired of being on the bench and asked to be sold. It clearly makes more sense to buy an older striker, like a Serhou Guirassy or like an Ivan Toney, to support Jackson and give him the time to develop without the pressure of needing the goals. And yet, that is not what we're looking to do. I just don't get it. I'm just at such a loss here. And they've got to be. These people have to be called out. We're expecting Chelsea to buy a forward, and the names linked with us are just getting progressively worse and worse and worse. Osimhen, Sesko, Toney. Then we're dropping down to Duran. Now Samu Omorodion. What's next? What are we gonna do? Kid from Brazil who scored 6 goals for his under-8s team. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Seriously, what are we doing? Too many sections of this fan base have been conditioned to think the only way forward is to go for a young raw talent, whilst forgetting players develop best, guys, when they have experience around them. And that is what the squad is crying out for right now. And that is what we are seemingly hell-bent on not doing. I'm just so confused at what we're playing at here. So confused, guys. It literally makes no sense, people. It literally makes no sense whatsoever. These directors surely can't be serious. It's clear to anyone that follows Chelsea, any fan, even if you're just a bit of a casual fan that dips in and out or whatever, that we need an experienced striker, not an unproven player. We were fortunate last season that obviously Jackson stayed fit for most of the games, and then he obviously missed the games with the African nations, but it wasn't a complete disaster. And the annoying thing right now is that why does everyone say that, compare any sort of underwhelming or any sort of young unproven player that gets linked to the club? Why does everyone compare it to Cole Palmer? If you cannot see, guys, the squad is crying out for proven established quality, then you are absolutely deluded. These people that say Palmer wasn't proven, Palmer was already a known quantity. Yes, he obviously was on the periphery at City, but he was a proven quantity. Yes, obviously he far exceeded expectations, but signing a Duran or an Omorodion is nothing like what signing Cole Palmer was. Absolutely nothing like it at all. So this is just really frustrating, and it's just a complete and utter shambles. A complete and utter joke. What is going on here right now? If you ignore the centre forward position, it is almost like ignoring the top 4. If you're not going to strengthen and sign an experienced striker, it's almost like saying, do you know what? We're bypassing the top 4 next season. That's the risk that you are taking here. And there are obvious choices out on the market, and we can't stay silent on this. Whilst the recruitment team continue to make an absolute mess of it. This is supposedly, guys, the last window of a 4-window plan. And yet, in this 4-window plan, they still haven't even completed the striker position. We don't have a top quality goalkeeper. No disrespect to Pedro. We don't have a top quality goalkeeper. And we need another winger and potentially another left back as well if we want to compete again. So what the fuck's been going on in the previous 3 windows? And if your solution at the end, in the 4th window of a 4th-window plan, is to bring in a 20-year-old striker that was on loan at Deportivo Alaves last season, it's not even played a single game for Atletico Madrid, and is suddenly worth 40 million euros. I mean, are we idiots? Are we idiots? Like, what is going on here? We are so unserious as an institution, it actually hurts. When it comes to certain things, it's almost like when we do something good, we have to follow it up with something shit or somewhat of a self-sabotage. You know, how can Omorodion be viewed as the first choice in Chelsea's attack? You watch a 20-year-old player who scored 8 goals in 35 appearances last season for a bottom half La Liga side, and suddenly he's deemed the number one target for the club to fill the striker position. I'm so lost on this, guys. So lost, so confused at what we're even doing here. Because what are we doing here? Is the big question, guys. What on earth are we doing here? By the way, guys, 127 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button, guys. It's free. It takes seconds to do. There's 127 in the building. Only 46 likes. Let's get this up to 100 likes. So keep smashing the thumbs up button, guys. It really helps me out. And subscribe to the channel if you are new round here as well. Remember, guys, shirt giveaway for the 10K is taking place tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you're subscribed to be in with a chance of winning a Chelsea shirt of your choice from the upcoming season, guys. So please do smash the likes and please do hit that subscribe button. We're heading towards 10.2K now, so make sure you keep subscribing to the channel. No, but it's not replacing Jackson. This is the mentality that has got to stop. This is the mentality that is going to hold this football club back. Do you think Real Madrid go, oh, we don't want Mbappe because we've got Vinicius, because we've got Rodrigo, because we've got Bellingham, because we've got Brahim Diaz, because we've got Arda Güler, you know? Of course, like, they've just added Mbappe to that mix. Look at the talent we've got there. And then we've got people saying we shouldn't sign an experienced striker because we've got Nicholas Jackson. No. What are we doing here? Where is this bottom of the barrel mentality coming from? You know, I'm so confused as to why people sort of think that trail of thought is okay. I mean, it absolutely isn't. You know, why do people think like that? It's so odd. It really is. I'm just at a complete loss here. At a complete and utter loss on this front as to why people think that's all right. I don't get it. But it's not going to limit Jackson's development. Jackson's development would be far better with the burden and the pressure taken off him. With a more experienced striker. You know, he's not going to. The pressure is going to be absolutely on him, even more than it was last season, with someone that's even more young, raw, and unproven than he is. So, yeah, it's honestly, it's a big problem. Firstly, I said I don't care about results on the pitch. That's winning trophies. I mean, look, they absolutely. Look, this idea that the ownership don't care about winning, you can criticize them for a lot of things, as has rightfully been done. But, you know, the quickest way to make money is by winning. So I honestly don't subscribe to this thought that they don't care about winning, because the quickest way to make money is to win. Experience comes at a price, and they don't want to do that now. But well, look, Serhou Guirasssy's there for £15 million, 30 goals and 30 appearances for Stuttgart last season. It's a no-brainer. Good in the air, both-footed, good finisher. It's a nonsense. You know, there are options available. You cannot tell me that Chelsea have scoured the market with their extensive scouting system, and they've come up with the best two choices. The best two choices for the striker position, to fill the striker position, are John Duran or Samu Omorodion, two 20-year-olds who have hardly kicked a ball between them. I mean, I just don't understand. I'm so confused. But Omorodion is yeah. I mean, look, no disrespect to the kid. I've never heard of him before. Could go on to become a top player. We don't know. But this is not what we are. This is not what we should be doing here. This is not what we should be looking for. We should be going for someone obviously far more experienced. But at the end of the day, this is what the club want to do. This is what Chelsea are seemingly looking to do. So, yeah, this is where we're at with the situation. Do you know what's? No, I haven't. What have I defended them on? Just because I don't believe that they don't want to win. I've been very critical of a number of things, highly critical of a number of things. Absolutely, yeah. Samuel Omorodion is guys. Let's stop with this because no one's actually watched him. And if you watch a 2-minute comp, it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you anything about a player at all. It doesn't tell you anything about a player at all. Guirassy is good. You know, I like Serhou Guirassy. I think there's absolutely a good option there. They want to buy young and hope to flip for a profit. Yeah, look, you can't argue with that. You absolutely cannot argue with that. But obviously, that was the news last night. That obviously that bid had been rejected for Omorodion, and then we've had further news this morning from Matt Law on the Omorodion situation, stating that Chelsea have informed that they would be willing to pay 25 million for Omorodion, rising to over 30, but Atletico value him higher. Omorodion would like to stay at Atletico and fight for his place, but that has not stopped Chelsea holding talks. So we're going after this guy, and he doesn't even want to leave Atletico Madrid. You know, he doesn't even want to leave, and yet we're still pursuing a deal for him. We're willing to pay 25 million, rising to over 30, and they're looking at somewhere closer to 80 million euros. I mean, there's a huge gap in valuation here, a massive gap in valuation. And this makes the signing of Elise even more crucial, because if this is the level of striker we're going for, then the signing of Elise is crucial, because that's going to have to be our marquee signing. Because if we miss out on Elise, and then if we miss out on Elise, and then we end up with an Omorodion or a Duran, then it's going to be highly underwhelming. So this makes the Elise deal even more important than it already is. Even more important. So yeah, I think Guirassy doesn't want to leave Germany. No, I don't necessarily think that's true. I honestly don't necessarily think that's true at all. Well, I mean, look, he's the only one that's out, that is reportedly, outwardly said that he would be obviously keen for the Chelsea move. I mean, privately, we're not sure, have any idea what Omorodion's thinking about a potential Chelsea move or not. We don't know. Signing Nino's and expecting top 4 on a trophy. Yeah, no, I hear it. I'm not sure how we're expecting to come in a top 4 next season with a rookie manager, and then you're signing raw, unproven 20-year-olds to be part of to sort of almost lead the line, as it were. But let's carry on with this here, and it's believed, guys, that it's between John Duran and Samu Omorodion, but the Chelsea owners and sporting directors asked Enzo Maresca what he wanted to do with the John Duran deal. He will have an important say on the striker, and he will make a decision on the situation with Samu Omorodion. Now, how weird is this, right? Because this makes no sense whatsoever, because Tuchel was sacked for not wanting to be involved. He just wanted to coach, and that was part of the reason why he left, because he wasn't on board with the collaborative process that they wanted to implement at the club. Potter, I don't really know what was going on there. Poch wanted to be involved, and a big part of the reason for him leaving was because, they didn't want him to be involved, and his say was kind of being ignored, as it were. And then Maresca's now being asked for input on a player or players that, in all honesty, he likely knows absolutely nothing about. So what exactly are we doing here? Why are you, if you've got a recruitment team in place, you've got sporting directors in place, it was very much the case that, these are going to be the players we're signing. This is your job as the coach is to coach the team. You can have a little bit of an input. You can suggest profiles of players and whatnot. Managers, and I don't care who it is, managers should absolutely not be identifying players. They should not be identifying individual players. Absolutely recommend profiles and areas of the squad that you think need improving. They shouldn't be identifying players. So this is why it's so odd that, why is Maresca reportedly now being asked to, ask what he wants to do? And I get it that, briefings are briefings and whatnot, but what's coming out doesn't exactly scream like a cohesive plan and everyone's pulling in the same direction. It absolutely doesn't. It doesn't highlight that at all. I mean, it couldn't be. I mean, in fact, it couldn't even be further. It couldn't be further from the truth, guys. It literally could not be any further from the truth right now. It doesn't scream a cohesive situation whatsoever. Guys, 104, almost 150 in the building. Make sure you are smashing the like button, guys. We're on 60 likes right now. We need to get another 40 likes on this stream to get it up to 100 likes. So smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. Shirt giveaway tomorrow. But yeah, guys, please smash the like button. It really helps more than you could imagine. There's definitely a load of people in there that haven't pressed it. I believe our budget is very limited for this window. I'm not sure. Maresca must said he wants Connor and Chalobah. I don't give him. He walks. No, he's not going to walk. No, that's done. So Stuart and Stanley Bums can blame him when a transfer flops. Yeah, it's all about shirking responsibility, because if they then if a Duran or an Omorodion comes in and Maresca's kind of had the final say on it, the directors can absorb themselves of any blame if it doesn't work out. This is kind of what we're dealing with at the moment, guys, on this front. To be honest, Pochettino was sacked for football reasons only. No, he wasn't sacked for footballing reasons. That's just not true. Part of the reason that he left was because of him really wanting to keep Chalobah and Gallagher, and with the club wanting to sell, and also because he wanted to be involved in the transfers more. If you think that the coach at Chelsea's got to say in the transfers, brother, you don't know what's going on at this football club. Maresca understands he needs to work with whatever he has or whoever is added to the team. And exactly, and that's why they put the title as head coach, because he is very much going to be someone that is going to have a situation where he's going to have to just work with the players that he's given. I'm sure that he can, have an input on profiles and suggest areas of the squad that need improving. But this idea that he's going to have final say and that he's going to be identifying players is just simply untrue. Simply not going to happen. Pure and simple is not happening, guys. That's the reality on that front. But whether it's going to be Maresca, whether it's going to be whether it's going to be Duran or Omorodion or whoever, it could even be someone else. Guys, maybe guys will get scouting the Brazilian sort of any Brazilian football under 21s or under 18s. Have a little look around there, because the chances are our next striker could be. That just isn't true. That simply isn't true. He wasn't sacked for footballing reasons. I know clubs always put out mutual consent for things, but I generally think he's had enough, and the club were probably happy to to part ways as well. But if he was happy to stay, I think he would have stayed. There were ample grounds. No, I'm not pushing any agendas, but there's this idea that no one truly knows. Are we really believing the Atletico Madrid CEO that Poch said no to Felix? And at the end of the day, even if he did say no to Felix, that's absolutely the right decision. Why are people saying that Poch picked out Ugarte? Was Poch even installed as manager by then? I can't even remember. I'm not pushing agendas, but managers are not singling out individual players and having a big say in transfers at Chelsea. That isn't happening, guys. And whether you want to believe that or not is up to you. So it's all about making profit now and less about winning trophies. How do they expect Maresca to get CL football? Yeah, and this is the thing. If you're going to recruit this way, okay, it's frustrating and it's fine. But I know the manager doesn't have a say. Saying no to Joao Felix does not equate having a say across the board on transfers. Saying no to one player does not mean the manager's got a say. It is worrying, that people genuinely think that the manager has got a big say on transfers at Chelsea. They haven't got any say at all, next to none, because that's not. Connor must start tomorrow. Well, I don't think he will. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing. I will defend him on this because the deal was verbally agreed, and you can't foresee a hijack situation. A hijack situation taking place. That was just one of those things. What he reported at the time was correct, and there was a last-minute change. So it just now, obviously, it looks like he was wrong, but at the time, what he reported at that current point in time was the correct situation. This is what people don't understand about football transfers: is that something at the time of being reported can be correct, but then what was reported a couple of days ago, that could change in a couple of days' time, and then what was said 2 days ago, people think, oh, they were talking wrong. There's no agendas here. What you're not understanding is that one or two players does not equate to having a say. Does not equate to having a say on transfers. It doesn't. It absolutely does not. Yeah, exactly. Klopp wanted Julian Brandt instead of Mo Salah. He did. He did. Klopp wanted. This is the thing. Managers should never have a say. Ten Hag has final say on transfers. Look how that's turned out. Look how that's turned out. Ten Hag having final say on transfers at United. It's been a disaster. It's been an absolute disaster. This is why managers should sure have an input and whatnot, but they shouldn't be having a final say or having a big role in transfers. They shouldn't. They're there to coach the team and improve the team. It's. But yeah, anyway, let's move away from that. And in terms of how close are Chelsea to deciding on who they think it's going to be out of Omorodion or Duran, that decision has yet to be taken. Chelsea has no preference yet between Duran or Omorodion, working on both deals and waiting to make a decision. It remains an open situation as of today, so no preference yet. Talks are taking place on both club and player side for both. So right now, there's no preference. There's no preference. I mean, are we seriously thinking, guys, that it's literally going to come down to a situation where it's going to be, we're going to agree terms and agree a deal potentially for both, and then Maresca is just going to decide, oh, I want Duran or I want Omorodion. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, surely that can't be the case, guys. Surely that's not going to be the case. I mean, I don't know. I could be totally wrong on that, but maybe that is what we're doing. I mean, there's Cancelo was reporting that Chelsea are interested in Serhou Guirassy, but I don't really see how that goes any further than just interest, given what we're doing. Because if we genuinely wanted Guirassy, the £15 million release clause is there to activate. Very simple. Doesn't cost you a fortune whatsoever. If you genuinely wanted him, then Chelsea would have gone and done it. You know, why would if we were generally set on him, why would we not have just gone and got the deal done? You know, I don't really understand why the deal wouldn't have just been done there and then. At that point, why wasn't a deal done? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. I'm just so confused by the whole thing, really. I really am. So we don't know right now what the preference is. We don't know the preference is Duran. We don't know the preference is Omorodion. I think a deal for Duran will be easier to do than a deal for Omorodion would be. In terms of who's better out of the two, I don't know. I really don't. I really don't know who out of the two is better, because I don't know enough about because I don't know enough about either of them. I'm really not. I really don't know enough about them. Yeah. Anyway, let's move away from that, because Matt Law has been speaking on the London is Blue podcast, and apparently Chelsea they're not looking at the sort of 6-yard box finish as a type of striker. They want someone who can drop deep, who can run it behind, who can link the play. That's the type of striker they are after. So that maybe seemingly rules out Guirassy, which is crazy. But if that's what they're looking for, then that does seemingly rule him out. You know, that's what we need. That's what maybe suggesting to me, is that is ruling out Guirassy, if that's what they're looking for. So according to that, then, if on those kind of what do we call it? On those characteristics for a forward, that's basically describing Christopher Nkunku at the end of the day. Someone that can drop deep, someone that can run in behind, someone who can link the play. They're basically describing Nkunku there. Is what seems to be going on. You know, I'm not on board with putting Nkunku up front. You know, he shouldn't be there in my opinion. But if those are the characteristics Chelsea are looking for, and the sort of player they want up front, then why spend any money, buy a Guirassy or someone, put Jackson on the left, and then stick Nkunku up top, or something along those lines, instead of just spending ridiculous amounts of money on unproven players. It's that the whole sort of plan and whatnot is just not making any sense at all. It's really not. Yes, guys, keep smashing the thumbs up button. We need to get this to 100 likes. It would be greatly appreciated. You know, it helps out more than you can imagine. Helps boost the content in the YouTube algorithm, gets more eyes on the channel. So please do that, guys. It would really help. 140 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. We still need 30 likes. So please do smash the like button. And please, obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. 10K shirt giveaway taking place tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you are make sure you're subscribed to be in with a chance. Okay, but smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, guys. 135 in the building. Let's get this done. Let's get Elisa over the line and sort this situation out. Yeah, fair. Nkunku as a 9 is better than Jackson, and Jackson should come from the left. I mean, look, that's a possibility. You know, sign a Guirassy for £15 million, using Nkunku as your number 9, play Jackson on the left. If that's genuinely what the sort of profile of attacker they're looking for, then do that rather than dropping 40 million on a Duran or an Omorodion. You know, that's what I'm saying. 5 p.m. UK time. Yeah, we got to stop using these adjectives, because these are not adjectives that are associated with our football club anymore. These are not adjectives that are associated with Chelsea Football Club. You know, it just isn't, which is a shame. But that's the way it goes right now, guys. That is the way it goes. So yeah, there's not much we can do on that front, unfortunately. Not much we can do at all on that. Duran is better. Omorodion is so raw and unrefined. Well, they're both raw and unrefined. Why not get Xerxes? Because we're not interested at the end of the day. The left is occupied by Sterling and Madrid. Maresca is required to make Misha work. Maybe. Why can't Nkunku play as a 9? I played any games there, so he's good enough or not? Because he's not his best position, you know. But if this is the profile they're looking for, just stick Nkunku at 9 and bring Guirassy in. You know, that would make more sense. That would make more sense. Yeah, but Guirassy's wages won't be ridiculous at all. They absolutely won't be ridiculous. You know, Guirassy coming in for me would make a lot of sense. Absolutely would make a lot of sense. And I'd be fully on board with a Guirassy type coming in. But because it makes a lot of sense, unfortunately, it doesn't strike me as something that Chelsea would be willing to do, because it does make sense. The owners don't like their shiny toy not played. None of them are, I don't know. At least their right wing moves Palmer to the middle. Well, Nkunku will either play as a 9 or will play on the left. But also, ultimately, at the end of the day, I think there's going to be a lot of games. The plan, as far as I'm aware from what's been reported, is that Sterling and Madrid will be the left wing options. Then Nkunku and Palmer will be the number 10 options, and then Elise, if he comes in along with Madueke, will be those right wing options. Palmer is going to play more centrally this coming season, and I think Nkunku and Palmer are going to rotate as the number 10. Can they both get in the team? Absolutely, they both can get in the team. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, let's see. They are hoping for a Cole Palmer type situation to repeat itself. Maybe they are. I don't know what data were these owners looking at with Omorodion. No, I don't know either. I can't comment on the player because I know very little about him at all. All I know is that he scored 9 goals in 35 appearances last season, which is not exactly tearing the house down, is it? if we're being honest here. But yeah, for me, Guirassy would absolutely make the most sense. But because it makes sense, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. I mean, again, apparently, according to Matt Law, Chelsea are planning to have a big squad, because obviously with the Conference League, they're going to take the Club World Cup really seriously. I think they're looking at planning a squad that can cope with 75 to 80 matches next season. That's mad. That is absolutely mad. You know, and in terms of that as well, by the way, guys, just moving away from that striker situation, just a bit more onto the plan that I was referencing there. It seems Palmer is being earmarked for a more central role, whether in a 3-man midfield or sort of 3 forwards behind the striker. They think Sterling and Mudryk should be on the left side and hope Elise and Madueke on the right, Palmer and Nkunku central. So basically, just once again being confirmed what I was just saying there. is that is the plan that Chelsea are looking at. You know, that's what we're looking at here, guys, with Chelsea as a plan right now. That is what they're thinking. But again, we are gonna have to wait and see whether that plan materializes at all. But that is believed to be the plan. Palmer's going to be more central. Hopefully, Elise Madueke on the right. Palmer and Nkunku as 10s. And I look, it would be a real shame if we don't see Palmer and Nkunku in the team that much together next season. I hope that we do, but I think it's clear that the rotation is going to be there next season, and Nkunku and Palmer are going to play a lot of games, but they're viewed more as those central number 10 options. So yeah, that's where we're at with that one, guys. We're still not quite at the 100 likes mark. 75 likes on the clock. We've racked up 75. We need another 25 here, guys. So please keep smashing the thumbs up button. It's free. It takes seconds. It really helps. So please, guys, just run it up and let's get these 100 likes. It's free and it takes seconds. And please do also subscribe, because there is the shirt giveaway at 10K tomorrow afternoon, 3:45 p.m. And you do not want to miss out on that. We're 7 subscribers away from 10,120. Let's rack the subscribers up. Please smash the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you're new around here, and let's keep the show rolling. But around Nkunku and Palmer will flourish under little pressure. Maybe. For next season, we will be stuck with Sterling. But I think the next summer, we will see, an obvious change in terms of he'll have 2 years left on his deal, and he will absolutely be out the door next summer, I think. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd like to think that it's more than possible for Nkunku and Palmer to start together. That really shouldn't be any issue whatsoever in regards to that. Really shouldn't be a problem at all. But yeah, just back to that trail of thought in terms of people talking about not wanting to sign a top striker to because they don't want to get in the way of they don't want to get in the way of Jackson. I just find that so I just can't get on board with that trail of thought. I really can't. It's a real confusing one. No, I'm not buying. I just can't get on board with it, guys. Don't get a good striker because it will upset or block Jackson. The guy's a professional footballer, for God's sake. He's here to compete for a spot in the team, just like in midfield. Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, maybe Gallagher, maybe Santos. If they're all here, they will all compete for spots. We need a squad. We need a capable squad with options. An injury to Jackson or a major drop in form or whatever will put us bang in trouble. Nkunku was out most of last season, and right now we can't fully rely on Nkunku at this point in time. So this idea that we shouldn't go and get a striker because we don't want to upset Jackson, what sort of mid-level mentality is that? It's fine to believe in him. It's fine, all these things are great. But this idea that you don't want to bring another striker in case you upset him, you're at a fucking top football club. There's going to be competition for places. There needs to be competition for places. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what we're playing at here. I don't know what we're playing at here. It makes very, very little sense on that front. I don't know why. I don't know why people think like that. I really don't. I'm really struggling to see people's thought process. Why they're thinking like that. Why did I think? Is there anyone in the chat think that? Please do let me know. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're well. I would love a tactical approach like the Germans with a double 10 in Kunku and Cole behind the striker with the license to roam. Yeah, but the problem with that is that we spent so much money on wingers, and that basically completely writes any wingers out the system. But look, I would love to see that as well. But the problem is we spent so much money on wingers, so I'm not sure that we will actually see that. Although that's definitely an option that you can do, because you can switch things up. You can have two narrow 10s, as it were, like with Germany, like you've referenced there. But then you can mix it up and bring wingers on to change the game if necessary. So yeah, I think there absolutely are options. There are 100% options here. So yeah, it's strange. It is strange, but yeah, look, Justin's a funny guy, shows his age every time. Perfect example of the penalty situation. Yeah, but that's just a lack of maturity, you know. And look, I don't know why people are so against it, but apparently, according to Liam Toomey in the Athletic, and this just basically confirms everything that we're saying here. Chelsea are not looking for an experienced striker to dislodge Jackson. They are big believers in Jackson and the strides he has made. They are looking to make another Jackson-type signing for the striker position. So it's all kind of makes sense now. The club basically do not want a top-level forward. That's it. So we're looking for another Jackson-style signing. That is what we're doing here. That is what we're looking for. We're looking for a Nicholas Jackson Mark II. So whether it's a John Duran or an Omorodion, or dare I say it, someone else that we've plucked, that we might have identified and plucked from obscurity. I just don't understand how you can, recruit in this way and then set the targets that you're setting. I'm just so lost, guys. I'm just so lost. There's been so much competition for places over the years. All the top teams have got multiple top quality options in each position, and yet, I just don't get it. Drogba to compete with Shevchenko, Torres. Yeah, exactly. I do agree on that front. I absolutely hear you on that front as well. It doesn't necessarily make sense, does it? Why if you're going to go for an Omar, or you're going to spend 40 million on Omorodion or Duran, surely why not just give Daxon Fofana a go for a season? Why would you not do that? I mean, look, no one really knows how good the guy is, but why wouldn't you do that? Is what I'd like to know. Is what doesn't make sense to me. But what do I know at the end of the day? What do I know at the end of the day? Maresco's system is obsessed with pure wingers, and our team looks stacked with 10s as wingers / half space. Yeah, no, we have got a lot of those type of players. I mean, what's happening with Washington then? May as well just try with him. He's going to go on loan. I think he'll be sold at some point. They didn't meet with Osimhen's agents last week at all. The Osimhen deal has been dead in the water for weeks and weeks and weeks. So that's nonsense. Chelsea wanted Sesko, but they obviously don't view Sesko as an experienced. Sesko's not an experienced striker. But he is someone with a lot more quality, and he's a lot more proven than the likes of your Omorodions or your Durans. So yeah, that's kind of the point. In case with that. Another unproven striker, but yeah, so that's basically kind of sums everything up. Is that is what Chelsea are looking for? They're not looking for a proven striker. Not looking for a proven striker. They have full belief in full belief in Jackson, and anyone else that comes in is very much going to be a not a backup striker, but yeah, as someone to compete with and not to dislodge him. We do have an update on Michael Olise from Matt Law as well. Duran is absolutely not proven. I don't know who Duran's saying is proven, by the way. I think at the moment I'd have Chelsea as the favourites. Chelsea, Newcastle and Bayern have all been given permission to speak to him. All went to Palace first, and they are being grown up about it and allowing clubs to start talks with him. So that's I guess that's a plus on that front, that Chelsea potentially are the favourites, although there's a long way to go on a deal like that. Is there any further bits to add on this? We've done that. A little bit on outgoings. So, I mean, because outgoings have been quiet, by the way. Outgoings have been fairly quiet. There's not been an awful lot of interest in Chelsea players at this point. But I've been told a lot of players will go. Casadei might go. Dacha Fofana will go, whether on loan or permanent. I think they would accept bids for Cucurella. Whether they get any, I don't know. Martin will go. He's part of the Duran thing with Villa. I do think Chalobah will go. So I think the Duran, yeah. So obviously Martin in some way could well be involved in the Duran deal with Aston Villa. So yeah, let's see. Bro, Werner is not better than Jackson. I mean, Werner could barely score. I mean, I don't understand how people can criticize Jackson, but then they just blindly stick up for Werner. Werner was awful for Chelsea. You know, yes, the fans liked him, and yes, he was a nice guy. Let's not reinvent the wheel and pretend that Werner was good for Chelsea, because he was shocking. He was absolutely shocking. He's absolutely shocking. But we don't miss a single one of those players. No one is watching Chelsea and thinking, "Oh God, I wish we had Werner in a team. I wish we had Havertz. I wish we had Mount." Not a single person is watching Chelsea and thinking, "Oh, we wish we still had any of those three players." And that is the truth. That is the absolute truth. No one is watching Chelsea and thinking, "Oh, I wish we still had those three players." You know, grateful for their contributions, but we don't miss them at all. Is the Olise signing not the reason we want an unproven striker to be able to afford a proven goal scorer? No, because we're not looking at spending huge. Olise is not huge money in the grand scheme of things. He's not huge money. But yeah, guys, we're still within touching distance. 19 likes for the 100 likes. Are we going to get there, people? Yes, we absolutely are going to get there. So please do keep smashing that thumbs up button. It's 126 in the building. We need 18 more likes. Come on, guys. What are you playing at here? This should be light work for the likes. So please do get it to 100 likes. It's free, and it really helps me out more than you could imagine. It really helps with getting more eyes on the channel. So let's get these likes up to 100. Come on, people. Come on. There is nothing confusing about not getting a striker. It's because they want to build up a stable of young project ballers to sell on for profit. Well, I mean, maybe. But yeah, that's kind of the latest on the outgoings. It's kind of quiet on outgoings. There really isn't too much to add. But if we go for Duran, Martin could well go to Aston Villa. Matt Law thinks Chalobah will leave. Other than that, there's not really too much further on outgoings. There's been a little update on the goalkeeper situation, though. Let's just quickly see what's being said there. Yeah, I know. People like honestly, it's amazing, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, but that was. But we didn't finish. We didn't not finish in the top four because of Jackson. You know, that wasn't why we didn't finish in the top. We didn't finish in the top four because we weren't good enough over the course of the season, which is a collective responsibility from every single person at the football club. You know, you can't be pinning you can't say that Werner was good because we finished in the top 4 when he played for us. He didn't make any contributions really at all. He scored a couple of goals. He scored a few goals here and there. No, we didn't. That just isn't true. That just isn't the case. We missed out because we weren't good enough over the course of the whole season. As a team, we weren't good enough. We missed out on top. We missed out on top 4 because we couldn't see out games against Burnley. We couldn't see games out against Sheffield United. We won 3 of our first 10. We won 3 of our first 10. Havertz is not clear of Jackson, by the way. Jackson had a better season than Kai Havertz last season. Havertz in his 4th season, by the way, in the Premier League. Jackson in his 1st season scored more Premier League goals than Havertz has ever scored in the Premier League in his 4 seasons in. Havertz is not clear of Jackson. I don't think we'll get top 4 next month. Let's wait and see. But yeah, anyway, on the goalkeeper front, guys, I think they will look at Sanchez first and spend pre-season looking at how he copes with the Maresca style. Chelsea's opinion seems to be that one of his strengths is playing out from the back. Let's wait and see how he gets assessed on that front, guys. Let's wait and see. Also true. Yeah, look, this idea that people think that one player's at fault for over a 38-game season for not finishing in the top 4. Like, you can criticize Jackson; he's missed a lot of chances. I absolutely agree on that front. But to say that Jackson is one player is the sole reason we missed out on a top 4 is crazy in my book. I can't get on board with that. But yeah, so obviously by the looks of it, Sanchez is going to be assessed in pre-season, and then we will see from there what the situation is, guys. We'll see from there whether we do decide to go for a goalkeeper or not. That is what we're looking for. So we are gonna see what happens. Sanchez is the worst keeper we've ever had. I don't feel confident at all with Robert Sanchez in the sticks. These people that crying out about Kai, Matt, and others are worse than the owners. But let's wait and see. Let's see how Sanchez comes through pre-season, and then we'll obviously arrive at a decision then. Let's check if there's anything else to go through, guys. Otherwise, I think that could well be it. We're still 15 likes away. Come on, people. Let's get these likes up. It shouldn't be difficult, guys. I know it's an earlier time than normal. So please do me a favor and run those likes up. It would be most appreciated. More than you can imagine. More than you can imagine. So please do that. Anyway. Sanchez makes me nervous with his feet. Yeah, what happens to Oblak links? Well, it was one report in Spain from probably not a particularly good source, so nothing at all. Yes, big up, bro. Chelsea signed Solanke and a new keeper, Bolker from Nice. The Solanke stuff is still a possibility. Still a possibility. It can't be fully ruled out. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's locked in this lunchtime. Greatly appreciate everyone tuning in at an earlier time. Please do enjoy the rest of your day. If there's anything major breaking news later on today, I'll be back later on to cover that. If there's not, I'll see you lot tomorrow, 3:45 p.m. On the channel for the shirt giveaway and covering all the latest Chelsea news. So, guys, thank you so much for your support. Please do enjoy the Euros. Enjoy the rest of your day. On the way out, please smash the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Get subscribed to be in with a chance of winning a Chelsea shirt of your choice for the upcoming season. We're 10 likes away from 100. Let's get those done on the way out. So smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, guys. Get yourself in with a chance of winning a Chelsea shirt of your choice. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the Euros. I'll catch you lot tomorrow. Up the Chelsea and peace out.